10 celebrity breakups that destroyed fans. When Jennifer Aniston opened her phone that morning in 2005, she had no idea the world was about to witness one of Hollywood's most devastating betrayals. But that's nothing compared to what happened when one A-list couple's split literally caused fans to flood therapy hotlines. And before this video ends, I'm going to reveal the breakup that made a generation question whether true love even exists. Some celebrity splits are just gossip. Others, they shatter illusions, break hearts worldwide, and leave scars that never fully heal. These are the 10 celebrity breakups that didn't just end relationships, they destroyed fans. Stay until number 1. Trust me, you're not ready. Look, we've all been through breakups. They hurt. But when you've invested years watching a couple grow together, when you've defended their relationship online, when you've believed in their fairy tale, and then it all comes crashing down, that's a different kind of pain. The breakups on this list didn't just make headlines. They created mass grieving processes, sparked international debates, and in some cases changed how we view celebrity relationships forever. I've researched the hidden details, the timeline inconsistencies, and the aftermath that the tabloids never fully covered. Let's count down the relationship endings that left millions emotionally devastated. 10th, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. We're starting with a breakup that spanned a decade of false hope. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth met on the set of the last song in 2009. They were young, they were beautiful, and they seemed genuinely in love. Fans watched them get engaged in 2012, then break up in 2013. We watched them reconcile. We watched them finally get married in December 2018. 8 months later, it was over. But here's what destroyed fans: the illusion of resilience. For 10 years, people pointed to Miley and Liam as proof that young love could survive anything. Distance, fame, growth, mistakes. Their wedding felt like a victory lap. When they split less than a year later, it wasn't just a breakup. It was the collapse of a narrative millions had clung to. The aftermath was messy, public, and painful. Fans had to confront the reality that sometimes persistence isn't enough. But this was just the beginning of the heartbreak. 9th, Zayn Malik and Perrie Edwards. The One Direction fandom experienced collective trauma with this one. Zayn Malik and Perrie Edwards were the golden couple of British pop. Little Mix and One Direction, two of the biggest acts in the world. They got engaged in 2013, and fans created entire social media empires celebrating their relationship. Then in August 2015, Zayn ended the engagement via text message. But what really destroyed fans wasn't just the method, it was the timing. Zayn had just left One Direction months earlier, and Perrie was heartbroken on tour while fans watched her perform through tears every night. The person they thought Zayn was, the shy, sensitive romantic, suddenly seemed like a stranger. Millions of fans felt personally betrayed. Comment sections became grief counseling sessions. The phrase "Zari is dead" trended worldwide, and for many young fans, it was their first experience of disillusionment. And we're just getting started on the devastation scale. 8th, Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Twilight fans still haven't fully recovered from this one. Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart weren't just a couple. They were Edward and Bella in real life. Their relationship made the Twilight saga feel real, made the fantasy tangible. For years, they denied being together, which only made fans more invested in uncovering the truth. When photos emerged in 2012 of Kristen kissing her married director Rupert Sanders, the internet exploded. Here's what the tabloids missed. This wasn't just about cheating. Fans had projected the entire Twilight mythology onto Rob and Kristen. Their relationship represented the idea that fictional perfect love could exist in reality. When it shattered, millions of fans, predominantly young women, experienced a crisis of belief. The couple briefly reconciled, giving fans hope, before splitting for good in 2013. The aftermath left a generation more cynical about celebrity relationships and fairy tale endings, but the pain was only intensifying. 7th, Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale. This one destroyed the 90s kids who grew up believing in rock star romance. Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale were together for 20 years, married for 13 with 3 kids. They survived the music industry, fame, and decades of change. They were the couple that made it. Then in 2015, after Gwen discovered Gavin's affair with their nanny, it all ended. What crushed fans was the timeline. People rewatched No Doubt music videos, reread interviews where Gwen gushed about Gavin, and realized they'd been watching a deteriorating marriage while believing in its strength. The betrayal felt personal because Gwen's pain was so visible, so raw in the aftermath. Fans who had grown up with Don't Speak and Spiderwebs suddenly understood those songs differently. The soundtrack of their youth was recontextualized as heartbreak they'd missed, and the emotional devastation continues to build. 6th, Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson. In 2018, this whirlwind romance broke fans in real time. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson got engaged after just weeks of dating. They were chaotic, public, and seemingly obsessed with each other. Matching tattoos, constant social media posts, an apartment together. They moved at lightning speed. Then, after 5 months engaged, following the death of Ariana's ex Mac Miller, it ended. Here's why this destroyed fans differently. The speed. People had just gotten invested. They just started believing in the fairy tale. The breakup felt like emotional whiplash, and fans were left with nothing but deleted Instagram posts and covered-up tattoos. But deeper than that, fans watched two people clearly struggling with mental health and grief try to heal each other, and it didn't work. It was a brutal lesson in the reality that love alone can't fix everything. The aftermath left fans more cautious about investing in celebrity relationships, especially fast-moving ones. Yet somehow, the devastation goes even deeper. Fifth, Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. 72 days. That's all it took to shatter millions of fans' trust. Kim Kardashian's 2011 wedding to Kris Humphries was a televised spectacular. Fans watched the lead-up, the proposal, the planning, the ceremony. It was a fairy tale, or so it seemed. When Kim filed for divorce after just 72 days, fans felt scammed. What destroyed people wasn't just the brevity, it was the suspicion that it had all been staged for ratings. The elaborate $10 million wedding suddenly felt like a performance. Fans who had emotionally invested, who had defended Kim against critics, felt manipulated. This breakup changed how audiences viewed celebrity relationships forever. It introduced widespread skepticism. The question became, is any of this real? The cultural impact was massive. Trust between celebrities and fans around relationship authenticity took a hit it's never fully recovered from. And we're entering the truly devastating territory now. Fourth, Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. This breakup in 2012 destroyed the belief that long-term Hollywood love existed. Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis were together for 14 years, had 2 children, and never married because, as Johnny said, they didn't need a piece of paper to prove their commitment. They were the anti-Hollywood couple, private and seemingly immune to industry pressures. When they split, it felt like the last genuine Hollywood relationship had died. But what really destroyed fans came later. When Johnny quickly moved on with Amber Heard, got married, and that relationship became a toxic public nightmare, fans wondered if the Johnny they'd idealized had ever existed. The contrast between the 14-year stable relationship with Vanessa and the chaos with Amber made people question everything. Fans mourned not just the relationship, but the version of Johnny Depp they thought they knew. The emotional weight keeps intensifying. Third, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. 20 years later, this breakup is still an open wound for millions. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston were America's golden couple. Beautiful, successful, seemingly perfect. When Brad met Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2004, everything changed. By January 2005, Brad and Jen announced their separation. By April, photos emerged of Brad, Angelina, and her son Maddox looking like a family. What destroyed fans was the narrative they'd been sold versus the reality they discovered. The timeline suggests overlap. The interview where Angelina said she and Brad fell in love on set. The W magazine photo shoot of Brad and Angelina as a suburban family, published while Brad and Jen's divorce was being finalized. Fans felt like they'd watched a betrayal in slow motion while being told nothing was happening. Team Aniston versus Team Jolie became a cultural divide that lasted decades. People are still processing this breakup, still debating who is wrong, still grieving the couple they lost. But believe it or not, there are 2 breakups that hurt even more. Second, Princess Diana and Prince Charles. This wasn't just a celebrity breakup. This was the destruction of a fairy tale on a global scale. When Lady Diana Spencer married Prince Charles in 1981, 750 million people worldwide watched. It was the definition of a fairy tale wedding. A shy kindergarten teacher becoming a princess. The stuff of storybooks. But by 1992, the separation was announced, and by 1996, they were divorced. What destroyed fans, and what makes this breakup still painful, was learning the truth. Charles had been in love with Camilla the entire time. Diana's "there were 3 of us in this marriage" interview devastated millions who realized this woman had been suffering publicly while smiling through royal duties. Fans watched Diana transform from a naive bride into a humanitarian icon while enduring emotional abandonment. When she died in 1997, the grief was compounded by the knowledge that she'd never gotten her happy ending. This breakup changed how the world viewed the monarchy, fairy tales, and the cost of public image. But there's one breakup that stands above all others in terms of fan devastation. First, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. After everything with Jennifer Aniston, After becoming Brangelina, after 6 kids and 12 years together, after finally getting married in 2014, when Angelina filed for divorce in 2016, citing irreconcilable differences and concerns for the children's well-being, it broke something fundamental in fans worldwide. Here's why this is number 1. Fans had finally accepted Brad and Angelina. They'd forgiven the messy beginning. They'd watched this couple do humanitarian work, build a family, and seem genuinely devoted. The relationship that started in controversy had supposedly proven its authenticity through longevity. When it ended, and especially when allegations emerged about an incident on a private plane involving Brad and their son Maddox, fans realized they'd been watching another illusion. But deeper than that, this breakup represented the final death of the Hollywood power couple ideal. If Brad and Angelina, with all their resources, their stated commitment to family, their global influence, couldn't make it work, who could? The ongoing custody battle, the leaked court documents, the allegations and counter-allegations. Fans have watched the complete dismantling of what they thought was an unshakable partnership. This breakup didn't just destroy fans' belief in Brad and Angelina. It destroyed the concept that fame, beauty, wealth, and shared values could guarantee a lasting relationship. It was the ultimate disillusionment. These 10 breakups didn't just end relationships, they ended eras, shattered beliefs, and forced millions of fans to confront uncomfortable truths about love, fame, and the stories we tell ourselves. Some of these couples have moved on. Some are still navigating the aftermath. But the impact on fans? That's permanent. So here's my question for you. Which of these breakups devastated you the most and why? Are there any I missed that deserve to be on this list? Drop your answers in the comments. I read every single one. If this video gave you all the feels, smash that like button. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because I'm breaking down more untold celebrity stories that will change how you see Hollywood forever. Thanks for watching.